tries to get open. They'll try to cover him for the three-point, but Randy Orr gets open.
Hill comes down. He's worked over. Hill cuts inside the line. Cross, floor pass, shot, scores! Oh, beautiful goal by Aaron.
Power play, here's a good chance here with some wheels and a breakaway chance here for Stick. And in! Great save by Clump. That was Zach Aoka.
Welcome to the locker room. I'm Steve Erickson.
And I'm Ian Metcalf.
Ian, a sad day in sport, the passing of Mickey Mantle.
Yeah, it was, you know, and that gentleman won a lot of battles on the field over his career and lost the biggest one today, and he's going to be sorely missed.
He will, and I guess the biggest thing we can say is for all you youngsters that are watching at home, take care of your body, because there was a man that just physically abused it, and a very sad day. Anyway, we've got a special show tonight. We've got so many people on the show. Boy, I tell you, I had to get all sorts of paperwork to ask.
Yeah.
First feature we're going to show is a special that we went out and did the other day. Diane and Peter went out and did it on Shawn Olson, the quarterback for the Surrey Rams.
Oh, I guess we're not going to do that.
Oh, we're not quite
Okay,
ready, but we'll get to it. We've got
will.
Shawn Olson, anyway, talking about Shawn, as well as Greg McKinnon, linebacker for the Surrey Rams.
Let's talk about every caller gets a free pizza from Boston Pizza.
Yes, they do. Every caller.
No, first 10.
First 10 callers
My mistake.
First 10 callers. Oh, you just want one. First 10 callers get pizza from Boston Pizza, as well as every caller for tonight's show gets a pair of tickets for the Surrey Glaciers. And we will want to remind everybody right now that their playoffs start September the 5th, 6th, and 7th. And those dates we'll keep you posted, because right now, as I was talking to Doug earlier on, they're not carved in stone.
And they're ready, so let's go.
Okay, let's go to the feature.
There he is.
Shawn Olson has been quarterback for the Surrey Rams since 1992, a valuable member of a team that in the last 3 years have been provincial champions. Shawn has always played sports, but has developed a particular love for the game of football.
I've always played sports ever since I was raised on them. Basically, I played soccer and baseball and basically every sport I could get into, and it's just something that's been inbred in me since my youth. Once I got into high school, I started to play and I just fell in love with the game, and that's the main reason I still play, is because I still find it enjoyable. Like, I still love playing the game. I still love the competition and even the pressure and everything. Just everything about football I still like. And when I stop loving the game and stop wanting to play, I think that's when I'll stop. But until then, I'll continue on.
The quarterback has to be the coach on the field, which can increase the pressure on the person in that position. But how does Shawn stack up to the previous quarterbacks of the Surrey Rams?
Shawn Olson.
Shawn stacks up fairly well against him. He's a fairly intelligent individual and a good team leader. His arm strength's pretty good, so he stacks up well with the other guys.
Quarterback does entail a lot of pressure. It's probably one of the most pressure-packed positions on the field. In Surrey, everything's a little bit laid back and things like that, so it's not too bad. But there is a fair bit of pressure, but I've seemed to handle it okay so far. Well, the last couple of years we've made it to the Western Canadian Finals. My first year in 1992, we went to the Canadians, and we lost to Ottawa there. And then ever since, we haven't made it back. And so this year we've kind of set our goals, instead of making it to the Westerns and just be happy with that, we want to make it to the Canadians and win it all.
Shawn is realistic in his views of where he wants to take his football career, but whatever he decides, he feels there's a lot to be learned from football.
I think everyone dreams of making it to the professional, the NFL or the CFL or what have you. But realistically, I mean, I'd just like to take it to college. I mean, for the kids that play it, they love it, and there's a lot to be learned from it, with cooperation and just friendships and things like that. So it's great, I think.
Is it ever in a tough position to play, Shawn?
You get lots of acknowledgements, which other positions don't get, as Greg will probably tell you. But
He's bigger than you are. Be careful.
But no, it's great, and I enjoy every minute of it.
Well, offense versus defense. Boy, what a powerful club, Greg.
Yeah, it's nice to have some defense along with, to complement the offense. Our defense is pretty much stacked. We're very quick. And we can hold people down without scoring any points.
I don't want to interrupt you, but let's remind everybody this is a call-in show. The rest of the hour, you can phone anytime. The number's going to be at the bottom of your screen. So give us all a call. We talked about offense, defense. Last night you defeated Abbotsford 48-24, and the score at halftime wasn't as close, but I don't know, with you guys, both starters, do you get a lot of playing time? Usually after the first half, the game's out of hand and they put in the second stringers.
Yeah, this year it's been a little bit like that. For the first 2 games, I only played a total of 2 halves, so it was like I played half the time. And yesterday I played a little bit more, about 3/4 or so. But it's good to get everyone in there because, I mean, down the stretch it's going to help you out with people getting experience in case some of the starters do go down. And we have a very talented group throughout the lineup. So, I mean, these guys are by no means slouches. They can get in there and they can do the job as well.
Any good up-and-comers from where you are?
At the quarterback position, or yeah, we got a good group of quarterbacks actually. We got we lost a guy last year, Phil Deeks. He's playing in Tri-Cities, which is a very talented quarterback, and we have J.W. Thompson back this year, who's also a very talented athlete and quarterback. Andy Stoher is there as well, who's young and he's learning, and he's going to be good in a couple of years and things. And we have a young guy, Corey. I can't remember his last name, which is not going to be good.
Let's hope he's not watching.
No, but he's got a lot of talent as well. So, I mean, we got a good group for the future as well as for the present.
Let's talk about the defense. Again, before last night's game, the cumulative score was 81-3 in favor of the Rams. You know, you guys just must do an awesome. You do an awesome job on defense, and give your defensive coordinator a bit of a plug.
Good old Dan, yeah. That's he was a coach for Abbotsford last year and came over and decided to be the defensive coordinator for us, and we're excited.
Yeah.
He brings a lot of emphasis, coming out and just making sure everyone's doing their job, and he's just an excited coach. He just
now,
gets you pumped.
Let's talk about your defenses. Do you play the traditional 4-3, or do you throw in lots of variations?
Yeah, we're throwing in a 30 this year, and I think Dan's really concentrating on focusing on, you know, after BCs.
What's your role in the 30?
I'm playing outside linebacker right now. They may move me back in the middle. I don't know yet.
Okay. Do you put a lot of pressure on you to rush the quarterback, or you?
Yeah, Dan's looking to blitz a lot of the outside backers, so yeah, it's a big part for myself, and I know Chris or Ryan McWhorter to come in and step up and start making some plays.
Looking at the stat sheet from last night, Greg, you've had 2 tackles, 3 assists, as well as 1 quarterback sack. Nice feeling, but I mean, anybody's got to be quarterback. You got to play against this guy, and you know, in practice, that must be tough to see these big guys come at you.
Not really. They're not allowed to touch me, so it's which works out good for me.
Yeah,
let's talk about practicing, because you know you guys are so dominant. Does Nick work you guys that much harder throughout the week? Because I bet you some of Nick's practices are a lot tougher than some of your games.
He will after this game.
Yeah. It's a pretty laid back atmosphere at practice. I mean, we're there to have fun, and Nick realizes that. But it's also very competitive. I mean, there's guys there trying to win jobs, and it's great for the offense to be practicing against such a dominant defense, because oftentimes we don't see that during the week when we play the game at the end of the week. But and I'm sure it helps the defense out as well to play against the offense that it can move the ball and things. So it makes us better during the week at practices and when it comes time for game time.
All your practices held at Bear Creek Park?
Yeah. We put practice there pretty much.
Afternoons, evenings?
7 o'clock usually. I think it's Tuesdays to Thursdays, sometimes Fridays.
How the crowd's been? Was the crowd last night?
I'm not sure it was.
I think it was over 5. I know last week was over 5.
That's a good number, and I guess you have to ask yourself sometimes. People going out to a Surrey Ram games, most of the time, unless you're playing the Okanagan Sun, I mean, it's not, are the Rams going to win? How much are they going to win by? Do you think maybe it hurts the fan support at all, or what are your feelings on that?
Not necessarily. I think fans, I mean, if you're a Surrey Rams fan, you want to come out and see the Surrey Rams
Everybody
win.
loves a winner.
Yeah, exactly. The old saying says. But I think it would help the league itself and us and the other programs as well if everyone's there's a little bit more parity in the league. I don't know how to come about doing that, but people are talking about cutting down the teams and things like that.
We promised you guys we weren't going to ask that question, but now that you brought it up, from your guys' point of view, would it, the organization's point of view, if let's say, for example, you did go down to 4 teams and some of your players were spread out, how do you think that would go over? Keeping in mind you, it would be good for the league in that. I mean, that's a tough question, I realize.
I think you'd hate to lose players from your team, obviously, and I don't know how they'd go around about doing that. It'd be very controversial, I think. But however they do it, I mean, I think there's a very good talent base here in BC. It's just a matter of with people going away to college and all the other options open to players. In BC, it's for our league, it's a matter of time and effort that kids put in. I don't think there's a real talent problem, I think.
And unlike other sports like hockey and lacrosse, for example, there's no residency rule in the BC Junior Football League, is there? You guys could go out to Burnaby, Vancouver, so I mean, I'm wondering how fair is that? I mean, the Rams have been so good the last 5 years. Everybody wants to play for the Rams, and that's maybe you put in a residency rule. I mean,
yeah, that might work too, because we do have a lot of guys coming in from outside of Surrey, and but I don't know how you'd solve it, really. Yeah. I mean, that's something I'd leave to the executives.
The problem you have is that, as we said before, we know the Surrey Rams are basically going to win the game, but the score, the question is how many points is the other team going to get, and how many are you going to allow them to get? Because the league right now, with the 6 teams the way it is right now, we've discussed it off camera. We feel the league is too watered down. I mean, like too. I guess
outside of the top
down.
2 teams.
Yeah, outside of the top ones, because they're close. But this is tough. For you guys to answer. But we've got our first caller on the line. Doug, go ahead. Are you there, Doug?
Hello.
Doug.
Hello.
How are you doing? It's tough to hear you.
Pretty good. I'm doing good.
Oh, there you are.
There you are. Boy, you talk about going from one extreme to the other.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'd like to say I agree with the fellow on your right that I think the players from Surrey on the team should be coming from Surrey. Gives them a better chance. And I'd like to ask the fellow, the quarterback, about the Coquitlam team. If he's heard of a fellow named Rowan Reeves, the cornerback.
Sean.
So I didn't hear the name.
Rowan Reeves?
Roland Reeves. No, I haven't heard of him. Is he playing for Coquitlam right now, or?
Yeah, he's playing for Coquitlam right now, and from what he tells me, he's a good cornerback. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. I just know. I think he might be the backup there behind Phil Deeks, and I don't know much about the quarterback you're talking about, but I know Phil is a really good, very good quarterback. So I mean, if he's playing behind him, it doesn't say anything bad about his ability. It just says that Phil Deeks is a very competent and athletic quarterback. So, I mean, I haven't heard anything about him, but I'm sure he wouldn't be lying to you. If he says he's good, he's probably pretty good.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks Doug. And Doug gets a Boston pizza, as well as 2 tickets for the Surrey Glaciers.
There you go.
Enjoy it. Yeah, no kidding. You talked earlier on, what possesses a young guy to get involved going to football, especially such a tough position like yours?
And doesn't he look like a linebacker?
Yeah, no kidding.
Smokes.
I don't know. I've been playing since high school, and it's part of your life. You want to go play. You work during the day, and you have something to go to at night, and go out and have some fun and work up a sweat. And it's a lot of fun.
You guys, I've got to cut it short, Ian. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Already?
You guys have to. I commend you for everything you've done, because you've got a tremendous team. Good luck for everything you do this year. I want to thank you guys for coming out, because without your involvement in Surrey, we'd have a tough sell for football. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Thanks very much. One at a time.
Getting everyone here.
Sean, okay. We've got more on the program. Our next one coming up is John Turley with the Surrey Glaciers, coming up right after this timeout.
Quads at it, baby. 2-3. Spent half the season in San Antonio as he lines one deep into right field. That's gonna get rerun shot. Ricky Scruggs pretty much puts this one away. There's the 0-1. It gets past him. Here comes John Turley's ball game's over. Murphy has only been on base once. There it goes! It's gone! And you can turn the porch light on, because we're all going home.
Surrey Glaciers playoffs are coming up, and I tell you right now, we're very pleased to have on our set, as we make that real quick transition from one sport to the other, John Turley, the all-star catcher, we should say, John, for the Surrey Glaciers. John, good job playing with the Glaciers this year, and congratulations on being picked to the all-star team.
Thank you very much. It's an honor and a pleasure to go out there to Tri-Cities and play. I was picked with Joe Strong and Jim Murphy, drove down there, fun road trip for 7 hours, went and played a baseball game, drove back 7 hours, so it was definitely worth it. I'm sure I'm going to look back on it many years from now and just smile.
One of the highlights of your career?
I would definitely say it is. And I've played a lot with the Glaciers. I finally got the chance to step into a role and play every day. Before I don't want to say trapped, but I had always played behind first-round picks that are now in the major leagues. So I didn't get the chance to play every day, and finally I get a chance to play every day, and I'm just enjoying it, having a great time.
Well, just before Ian jumps in, sorry, Ian again. I know, I'll get you. We want to take this opportunity. TSN, yes, you forgot. TSN, in conjunction with Rogers Cable, have put a program together. It's called Catch a Star, a rising star, and their ability is to promote upcoming athletes in our own area that contribute an awful lot to the sports in our own area. The Rogers viewing area that we serve. And we would like to take this time right now to present to you this TSN sports bag from the TSN network. So when you go to your next All-Star game, you put your stuff in it.
Walk
it's got
around
different goodies in it from Sports Network as well as Rogers Cable, so enjoy it.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Congratulations, John.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thanks, John.
I was reading an article about you in one of the local newspapers last week, and you haven't been to this part of the world before. How are you enjoying the Surrey and the Lower Mainland in general?
I love it. It's a beautiful part of the country, and fortunately baseball takes you all throughout the country, and I played in Northeast, I played in Florida, I played in the Midwest, so I've played everywhere except this part of the country. Now in the Western League, I've finally been able to catch California, Washington, Oregon, and this part of Canada. So it's a lot of fun changing your money over from loonies to dollars.
Did you have any second thoughts about coming to play for the league?
Oh, no. I was with the Minnesota Twins, and I have such confidence in Jim Rance, who is their minor league director. He called up Skip and said, you know, we have a catcher for you if you'd be interested. Unfortunately, Dick Phillips had enough confidence in Jim Rance to take me, and I came over immediately. And I've been playing ever since. So.
Now, I understand, too, that you're also taking some law courses. So if baseball doesn't work out, you're going to be a lawyer?
It's one of those things that in my free time I like to dabble in law. Actually, I go to Harvard in the off-season, and I'm not in law school per se, but I'm taking pre-law courses there. But at the same time, you have to realize that when I play baseball, people think that I'm brilliant, and then I go to Harvard and I see these other guys that just make me look like an ant. So, and then people at Harvard, at the same token, they think I play with Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah,
there's a little bit of a discrepancy in what people see and what is actually true.
Tough go for the Glaciers today, unfortunately.
We dropped
2 games, 3-0, or was it 3-0 in the fourth?
We've been hampered by a few injuries, and I just want to say right now that the league MVP the last couple of weeks has been Jay Inouye, our trainer.
Gotta be.
Who we affectionately call Victor. So Victor's done a great job keeping us healthy as well as we can.
Last week there, you had to put a pitcher in the outfield so you couldn't have a DH. I mean,
we put in Steve Toohey, who's one of our pitchers, but I had all the confidence in the world with him because when he shags fly balls in the outfield for BP, he does it better than anyone.
Sure. We've got one of the callers on the line. Go ahead. I believe it's Toohey on the line. Go ahead.
Steve Toohey.
Hello.
Hello, are you there?
I was just wondering if when the Glaciers make it to the playoffs, will their ticket prices rise?
Ooh, good question.
You know, it's funny. I really don't deal with the money. I don't see a lot of it. So if you're going to ask anyone, you'd probably have to call their front office. I would doubt it. I don't think that they're going to try to do that.
I'd be surprised, too.
I really would be. They've been very fair with the ticket prices, and they're trying to get a lot of fans out. And we've been, in the last couple of weeks, we've gotten a lot of support, so you really can't complain.
Before we let this caller go, since you phoned in, you're going to get a pair of tickets to the Glaciers game. So when you go out there, go and ask Stu Kehoe or stop by the office and let them know if we get enough fans asking about it. Maybe they will.
We also have to say that the tickets we're giving away for the Glaciers games are for August 19th, next Saturday, and Rogers will be doing the telecast on that one as well. So go on out and say hi to some of the people that are working behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But big endeavor for Stu Kehoe to put the park in there, and I mean the park was already there, but to renovate it and get the team together. Tough times, but from what we've been told, everything is going smooth.
Well, I guess it has to be understood that whenever you start something like this, there are going to be some growing pains. I have to state that Stu Kehoe is a very quality person. He runs a very quality operation, and if there's anything, even despite what's said in the papers about how the organization is having trouble, he's really, if anything, he's just smothering them with kindness with all the people and all the reports. But the organization, we're going to be okay. We're going to be back next year, and we're working real hard, and you can't, unless you go out there and see all the rain on the field and you see the grounds people working from 8 in the morning to get the fields ready, you really can't appreciate what everyone behind the scenes does to get that field ready. And it was a huge project, but I have the utmost confidence in the staff that it's going the project will get done, and it's going to be a good operation for many years to come.
Now, you were telling us earlier on that being a catcher for your position has traveled you around. You've seen a lot of different ballparks. Who would you say the best person was that you've ever caught for?
The best person I ever caught, well, I caught Wakefield a few times.
Oh,
and,
you caught one of his balls.
Well, actually, I just waited till it stopped rolling, and then I picked it up. And so that was how I catch Wakefield.
He won again, by the way, today. He's now 14-1.
Yeah, it's incredible. The ball just, it's almost as good as Ricky Scruggs' knuckleball, but someday we're going to put him on the mound, and then we'll see what happens.
You ever think professional baseball will come to Vancouver? Just going under what you've seen so far.
Yeah.
I think that Vancouver does have the base for a good fan support. I hope they don't, because then maybe the Surrey Glaciers might not have might be out of their franchise. But at the same time, the fans here in Vancouver are great. We have a lot of kids who come out, and that's the greatest thing, is to going out to the games, you see all the kids running around, and our players do a good job of signing autographs. You go see Joe Louis out there, and then you see Corey Parker and Ricky. What's that?
How was the autograph day on Friday?
Oh, we had a great time. It's just a lot of fun to do it, and it's one of those things that you really don't appreciate it until you're at school, and then I'm walking down the streets, and you see all these kids walking by, and they're so proud of the athletes, and we are role models, despite the fact that a lot of people don't think we are, and a lot of big names say they're not, but you really are. So I make a special point of stopping every day, and despite what happens in the game, if I strike out 6 times, which has surely happened, and if I drop every pop-up I get, I still have to change my demeanor when I go up to the kids and try to show them that I really care and I appreciate the fact that they come out and watch us play.
What do you see for your career short term? Say, where do you want to be next year? I know you want to be back in Surrey, but if some major league team comes calling, do you want to go to a major league training camp next year?
That's the beauty of baseball. You never do know.
Yeah,
and I love being out here. It's a lot of fun to play baseball. At the same time, I can't say where I'm going to be next year. I've talked to a few teams, and perhaps I'll go to spring training again. I've gone to 4 spring trainings already with 4 different teams. So I've been there before, and I know what it's like, and who knows what happens, and that's the way baseball is.
You had the opportunity to play winter ball anywhere or anything to keep your...
I've been asked to play a few times. Unfortunately, at the time, I couldn't accept the offer because I was going to school, but at the same time, I think it's important that I get my education in as well.
Tell us a bit about the training camp that the Surrey Glaciers just put on for the youngsters in the area.
Oh, it was a lot of fun. I was in charge of the stretching, so none of the kids got injured, which maybe I should be put in charge of the stretching for our team. Because we have a lot of injuries, a lot of pulled hammies and so forth.
I've spoken to a lot of parents that took their youngsters to the camp that you put on, and yourself and the Surrey
I
Glaciers.
think the biggest compliment we got was from a family. I believe it's the Carrington family. They threw a huge barbecue for us, and I think they had everything there except maybe baked Alaska, and just so much food on the table. And they took the time out, and they invited all the players over to their house, and we spent an afternoon there. They just fed us, and it was because of the camp. They thought their kids had such a great time at the camp. And, we really appreciate stuff like that. And the kids, we've had a lot of parents that have come up to me, and I've gotten candy bars from the kids for all the work that I did and for being their coach throughout the camp. But we had a lot of workers. Jim Murphy was helped coordinate the camp. Frank Rudd also worked on it, and we had Stan. Our pitching instructor was there. So it was quality instruction, and I think the kids had a lot of fun. We really put a lot of energy into it.
Makes it worthwhile. We've got a caller on the line. Jack, are you there? Jack?
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Good, how you doing?
Just great. What can we do for you?
I had a couple questions.
Sure, go ahead.
All right, I'm a big Surrey Glacier baseball fan, and I was wondering, for John, I believe, I heard you're pretty smart. You go to Harvard, is that correct?
Yes, it is. But I'm not that smart. It doesn't mean anything. I'm a catcher, too.
Go ahead.
So.
Yeah. Do you have good-looking girls there? Well, that's not my big question. I just was wondering.
They have many beautiful women at Harvard.
All right, and another one is, I heard you got a guy on your team, and you have his nickname is Nature Boy. Can you tell us how you got that nickname?
Oh, we better not. It's a family show.
Actually, he's a really good hiker.
There you go. Good answer.
Great hiker.
Good answer.
Got another caller on the line for
waterfalls.
Good luck to you, John.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks, caller.
Our next caller, go ahead. How you doing?
This question's for John, and my name is Michael. And I just wanted to know from him, what is the fastest land animal?
The fastest.
I would have to say it's the cheetah.
Thank you
Next
very much.
question.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think we got
Surrey
some
Glaciers,
friends
yeah,
of
friends and
John's
family,
playing,
yeah.
playing tricks
John,
on
we want to thank you for coming out and joining us on
Thank
this
you. I had a
segment for
great
the locker
time
room. It was
out
a
here.
lot of fun. We promised you we'd have a good time, and we'll be out. We're going to
August
come out and
19th.
cover some more. Yeah, August the 19th.
we'll
Anybody
be
that
out
calls
there,
in,
yeah.
they're going to give some tickets away.
Sure.
John was going to deliver them, but we'll make sure they're at the door if everybody that phones in. And we really want to thank you, for coming out because it's been an awful lot of fun. The youngsters have a good time,
Yeah.
and without the involvement, as you said earlier on, you people, the children, look up to. And if you guys think and maintain your focus and get positive, we won't have a problem with that.
Right. I really, I just, with the support we've gotten so far has been great, and I hope that, we have continued success. We didn't win the first half. We haven't been winning a lot lately, but still we're gonna pull it around, and we just hope a lot of the kids keep coming out, and we have a lot of fun. We love it when they're out there cheering
We still
for
have
us.
a little bit of time left.
Oh, we do.
Not much. We got a little bit of time. If you could give the youngsters out there right now any advice in their baseball career, what would you tell them?
Here, well, I think if I was going to give the youngsters any advice, I'd say play as much baseball as you can. That's the only thing that's going to make you better. And you can read a lot about the game, you can watch a lot of TV, but when you go out there and play every day, that's what makes you great. And you were talking about Mickey Mantle. He used to go out and play for hours, and that's why he was the best ball player.
Okay, John, I want to thank you for coming on. That's all the time we've got for you right now, unfortunately.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
John.
Had a
Thank you very
great
much.
time.
Take care of your bag.
I will.
Enjoy it. Coming up in the next part for the locker room, we've got Dennis Crawford. And if you don't want to get hurt, don't touch that dial. Highlight Package Plus, boy, you've got to get excited whenever you watch that stuff. Dennis Crawford, welcome to our program. Took a long time to get you here.
A while.
Yeah, you're a busy, busy man.
Yeah, a little bit.
Let's, we just saw Gaston Howard. How has he made the transition from kickboxing to boxing?
Very easy, because kickboxing is martial arts kicks and westernized boxing combined. It's easy, just don't use your feet.
You got started at a young age of 20. You talked earlier on. Involvement, parents were very influential. They helped
Mom
you.
and Dad? Yes, they were very supportive of me, both Mom and Dad. And hopefully in the future they'll be supportive as well, since I'm still pursuing a career. I'm not done yet. I'm a young 40.
Is it a tough transition to go from where you were, being in a ring, to now coaching?
No, actually, it's easy, because you've known what it's been like to be in there and to fight, and you know the feeling, what it's like to take and give, and you can explain the same thing to your fighter.
Fighters get a little bit of resentment if you want to try and correct them? Or are they basically focused and real positive?
Not if they have respect for you, okay, and respect is earned.
That's something you have to earn.
Sure is, yes.
Wow.
We hear about the 90s about how violent all these sports are, and boxing, kickboxing, karate. What age should I put my kids into karate, judo, etc.? What do you say to a parent, their kid shows an interest in that type of sport, you know, and they're saying, oh, it's too violent, he's going to get hurt type of thing, and you look at the bad, maybe the cartoons, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Power Rangers and all the controversy over that.
Start them young. Start them young.
Headgear?
Should. Yes, I believe so for the amateurs. There should be headgear. For pros, no. But parents should start the kids young, okay? Then it's ingrained in there. It's in their soul, and then they will train and fight that way as long as they live.
And it's really a lot of mental. There's a lot of physical activity to it, but I mean, there's a lot of mental concentration. You know, it's just not the physical aspect of it, is it? A lot of discipline.
A lot of discipline. You get your mental from your physical. Okay, if you train very, very hard physically, okay, then you get mental. A little bit mental from that. Is what I'm trying to say.
It's a mental discipline. I guess we mean to say
together,
it.
Sure. Yeah.
Wow. Now we were talking earlier on before we had a chance to come on set. Favorite, I guess, movie people that you grew up with that you idolized and used to like. You were saying you like Bruce Lee.
Yes.
And you were now advancing your career to go on and do a little bit of movie work.
Yeah, I'm training with a former Golden Gloves boxer named Danny Virtue. He's a very predominant producer, director, stunt coordinator, stuntman. And I've been training with him a few times a week, and we kind of do a barter system. He teaches me stunts and to ride horses, and we train together to keep him in shape.
We've got a caller for you. Corey, you're on the line. Go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, I was wondering, in your career, or any of your boss showing concerned about hurting the other guy too much. I mean, did you ever have that concern, that worry?
I think a lot of the fighters do have a concern about hurting the other fighters. Especially one of my fighters right now, Gaston Howard, is very concerned. He is an up-and-coming world champion, as far as I'm concerned. He has it spiritually and physically to make it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for calling. Now, we also would talk, getting back to Bruce Lee, because we were just talking, I was talking that one of the shows that I used to just really enjoy watching was David Carradine. And you were telling me a little bit of insight into David Carradine.
Yes, that series was actually made for Bruce Lee, okay? But Bruce Lee was 1/3 German. They figured he was too much Chinese to pull up the part, right? So they looked for a Caucasian, which was David Carradine. Okay, so David Carradine got the part.
See, you learn anything. Anything
there you go.
You know, just watch Locker Room.
A little bit of trivia.
And now we've got 4 pizzas left, and how many tickets we have got left to the Glaciers depends on how many phone calls we get.
That's right. We've got more callers, but you got involved at a young age. You advanced your career. Where do you see your career going from here?
Well, I'd like to fight one more time. And then I'll call it a day. Yeah, one more time. I fought in Australia a year ago and won a world title. I'd like to fight one more time. I was 39 at that time. One more time when I'm 40, and we'll call it a day.
Why do you want to fight one more time?
Because that'll give me 3 decades. I fought in the 20s, 30s, and then it'll be 40s.
He's trying to get
quite an accomplishment.
I think so,
Trying to overcome Gordie Howe's record with the
Gordie,
What's it like? You talk about fighting in other countries. What's it like? Is their fighting any different from what we see in Canada?
It's interesting. They want to beat you big time, so they put you up against their best. Okay, so you make sure when you go you're in good shape, because if you're not, you're going to get beat. Okay, and if you have the intestinal fortitude to win, you're going to win anyways.
They treat you real well?
Oh, you know it. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, they basically, that's the one thing I found, is when you do travel to another country, they really take care of you because they respect that Canadian red and white flag.
And it's nice being in the sport as long as I have been as well, because you start getting perks. It's like if you have a job, you work 20 years, you get 3-4 weeks holidays. If you train martial arts for 20 years, you get perks. They fly you all around the world for free, and it's a nice deal.
You operate out of the World Kickboxing Academy, and I understand you've got a semi-formal self-defense program right now that you want to get more involved with it come September. Tell us about that.
Yes, I've been teaching some self-defense for women, okay? I think it's very important for men and women, especially women.
Unfortunately, in this day and age.
Unfortunately, being from Surrey, you know, where I've been in Surrey all my life, to teach The women, we had an incident at the club where I was teaching a self-defense class where one of the young ladies went to leave and she was upstairs and a fella asked her to come into the vehicle with her, and she said no, of course, and she used some of the self-defense techniques on this fella, okay, which we taught in the class that day. Okay, she kicked him and hooked him, and he went running the car. He probably went running crying, and she come down running crying, so we run up to see if there's anybody there. Of course, they were gone, right? And it worked out really well, so.
We want to remind everyone this is a live phone-in talk show. Give us a phone call. The number will come up on your screen. And speaking of telephone numbers, if they want to get involved and sign up, what's the phone number they call?
You can call 930-9034.
Anytime, or is there?
Anytime, any place.
Okay, good. And we hope you get a lot of success with that, because especially in this day and age, unfortunately, that's what you need.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's very important.
Let's change sports on you just a little bit.
Okay.
There's a fight coming up Saturday, the return of Iron Mike Tyson. How
Mikey.
many rounds?
Mikey.
Well, a few of my comrades at Gators Gym where I train figure it won't go long, and they figure it'll be the first, second round. Actually, some of them are down there to watch it. I figure middle rounds, okay, since Tyson is owned by Don King, and the other fella, which his name?
McNeely.
McNeely is owned by Don King as well. So obviously the idea of the sport is to make money, so they want to go as far as they can, of course, and they want to make a showing. Tyson's first time on. I figure it'll go up into the middle rounds.
If the heavyweight division has lacked credibility the last couple of years, you're just going to give it the credibility
Sure
to
will.
kickstart.
I think the best thing that ever happened was Tyson go to jail. Okay, it's all promotion, isn't it? You know, they're
Dollars and cents.
They're entertainers, dollars and cents.
Yeah. Got a next caller on the line. Art, go ahead.
Hello.
How are you doing, Art?
Hi.
Not bad.
What's your question?
Okay, who's the shortest heavyweight champion of all time?
Is that kickboxing?
No, that's boxing.
Well, I'm a kickboxer, not a
Heavyweight
boxer.
champion.
He can't. That's a tough one, caller, because although
the
he
shortest
heavyweight champion of all time is very easy.
The shortest?
The shortest. You don't happen to know, caller?
Yes, I do.
You do know. I wouldn't.
You're
know
gonna have
that.
to tell us. 'Cause
I wouldn't know that.
Dennis is more of a kickboxer, so if you tell us,
The shortest heavyweight champion was a Canadian. His name was Tommy Burns, and he lost his title to the first black heavyweight champion of the time, Jack Johnson. Right?
See,
Very
that
interesting.
might be a little bit before my time. I don't know, Steve, about yours. But see, that's why we have these phone-in call
there's
shows,
nothing
so we
wrong with
can
that.
have people out in the audience.
Yeah, but I found out your birthday's the same day as John Turley that we just had in our
there
program,
goes
too.
my-
So.
Well, the shortest kickboxing world champion is named Stan the Man Longer and Easies. He's from Australia.
Okay.
He'd be the shortest. Okay.
It's not Dennis
that's
Crawford.
where Tommy Burns lost his title.
Down in Australia.
Exactly. That's
Well,
true.
caller, because you've given us the answer, you're going to get a Boston pizza.
As well as 2 tickets for the Glacier games.
Okay.
Thanks for
Thanks,
calling
Art.
in. Thanks, Art.
Thanks,
You're
Colin.
welcome.
It's nice that we get people phone in from all sorts of different sports that want to, ask questions. And get
Yeah,
involved.
that's very interesting. Yeah, I mean, the more phone calls, the better.
You find that there's more people getting involved in kickboxing versus changing format, just going to regular boxing in the gym?
There's a change because you can do the both. Obviously, it's half kickboxing, half kick, half boxing, right? So you can change, of course. It's easy. They have boxing skills. Yeah.
We've got our next caller in line. Walter,
Yes.
you're on the line. Go ahead.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I was wondering about, you mentioned about Mike Tyson going to jail. I was also wondering what your thoughts were, because you mentioned with both fighters being owned by Don King that you expected it would go to the middle rounds. It almost sounds like you, without saying the word, might be talking about a little fixing there.
The fix might be in.
Well, the best thing might have been is that Don King had ended up in jail.
Well, he's going back to court, ironically.
There might have been a little bit of
of
insinuation there, but we all know what the ultimate goal is in the sport, and you look at the final picture, and that's a money picture, right? And but we like to look as people, as the athletes, right? We like to look at the two people fighting. I don't think it's that way all the time. Okay, a small percentage of the time.
But I mean, that's sport in the 90s, though, isn't it? Anyway, guys. I mean, money in hockey, money in basketball. It's the almighty dollar, and it's unfortunate, but
yeah, the dollar seems to talk very dominant nowadays.
Sure it does. Yeah, especially in the sport of boxing.
Do you think there's more people getting involved in boxing, especially at the higher calibers, basically for the dollars and cents, versus the love of the game?
Oh, sure. Yeah, you'll see a lot of guys that come back. Just because of the money, I feel. Okay, why would they come back when they're 40 years old, 45 years old? You know, when they already have lots of money and they have their homes and they have their life together.
Yeah, that's true.
It could be they're sitting around the table. They got Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Tommy Hearns, right? And they're all talking about the fight they just fought. And Duran's thinking, geez, I can still do it. I can still do it. Is it an ego? A little bit.
That's true.
But a little bit of money involved, too. So it's a little bit of both, I believe.
Yeah. Got our next caller on the line. Andre, you're on the line. Go ahead.
Hi, Dennis.
Hi.
I just wanted to say that the classes there at the World Kickboxing Academy are a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
You make a lot of good friends like Dennis and Gaston and Dale, and you really feel good about yourself with all the classes and stuff. And it's not just for guys; it's for girls. And
Have you learned a lot, caller?
yeah, I did actually. I learned quite a bit, and it wasn't just like in the fighting area either, like the self-defense area. It was with self-discipline and excuse me, stuff like that.
So you would recommend it?
Oh yeah, I'd recommend it to anybody. It was a lot of fun, and you meet a lot of good friends.
Good, good. I appreciate your call.
Thanks
and,
for calling.
Thank you.
Thanks for the
Bye-bye.
input. Thanks very much. Thanks for calling. And I believe she's also going to get 2 tickets for the Glaciers games, and I don't know if we've got any pizzas left. They haven't told me that yet, but they'll keep us informed. Again, we talk about the sport, I talk about this. Do you think should there be a law, as we talked earlier on, about, you know, King owning 2 fighters like that? I mean, if I'm a betting man, I mean, and I'm not, I mean, we all know
of
that.
course not, of course
But
not.
if I went down to Vegas
Yeah.
and said, look, I want to wager a couple dollars on this, is it fair?
Well,
that's a tough question.
I mean, who's getting
life's not fair. That is a tough question.
Yeah.
Okay, what is a person worth?
Yeah,
what you can get.
Yeah, and we do have 2. We have 2
A couple
left.
pizzas left, and there you go.
You know, that last caller, Audrey, you get back to your self-defense, and I guess the word I've been looking for is self-esteem. This kickboxing and martial arts really has to give you a lot of self-esteem, though,
Sure
too,
it does.
doesn't it?
Through the training, and the more fit and the more you feel, the better you feel about your body and about your person, the more self-esteem you get. But self-esteem is gained as well by the way you live your life.
Oh, sure.
Right? The way you do things, the way you deal with problems. Okay? If you deal with your problems head on, and self-esteem and your confidence will grow. So it's a life process.
Got our next caller on the line. Kim, go ahead. Kim? We had our next caller there.
So you got camera shy or phone
Are you
shy.
there?
Hello.
Kim? Yes?
Hi.
How are you doing? Thanks for calling.
Oh, no problem. I just wanted to ask Dennis, with women in kickboxing, I noticed that there are very few women that you hear of. Where do you think it's going to go with women in the future? Do you think it's going to grow, or that women tend to be a little shy to get into kickboxing?
Well, Kim, hopefully the sport with the women fighting will grow, okay? I know there's a lot more fights in the States than there are here. I would like to see more women get involved. But then it comes to the promotion of the sport as well. And if the promotion's not there, and if the women aren't there to fight and train, then it won't happen. Okay.
Excellent.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks, Kim.
Thanks, Kim.
Bye.
Yeah, it's nice to see women get involved and wanting to get involved in a sport that basically, from what I've been told, has really been predominantly a male-oriented sport.
Yes. Yes, it has been for a number of years. I've been doing it for 20 years, and it hasn't changed too much, okay, because the money's not in the sport for it to grow. You have to have that finances there and the promotion.
Final things, if you could tell any of the youngsters at home, should they get involved, should they not get involved, what could you tell them before we let you go?
Yes, train hard and get involved in any kind of sport, okay, and make sure you look for a good mentor, somebody that you can look up to and follow. Okay, it's very important in life to find somebody that you can...
And they don't have a bad one right here, and the fellow we're sitting right across from.
Yeah.
Dennis, it's been great having you on.
And one more thing?
You bet.
Can I just say hello to my mom and dad?
You sure can. You just
Hi,
did.
Mom. Hi, Dad.
And we know Dennis is a big supporter. And anybody who wants to watch any boxing, you can go out in, I believe it's Abbotsford, this coming Friday for the Western Canada Summer Games. There's a boxing event going on out there. So go on out, take it in, because it's all for a good cause. And we talked earlier on about basketball
and they've
how
got-
they're getting close to being settled.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, they're settled, and we're going to have basketball at GM Place in September, and the jury's out as far as I'm concerned. But after they viewers take a look at this videotape, they do a great job marketing.
Yeah, they do. Should you go, should you not go? Yes, we say watch this and you decide.
I love it, I love it, I love this game. I love it, I really love this game. I love it, I love it, I love this game. I love it, I really love this game. Well, there ain't never been a game like this, cause basketball's a sport that you just can't miss. Every day you meet people who play. On blacktops and beaches and on their driveways. You see them playing ball in the park, or see a kid shooting around till it's dark. All over the world, it just seems the same. I mean, it's basketball. I really love this game. I really love this game. I love it. You love it. We love this game. The NBA. I really love this game. It's the NBA. You won't believe this. We got dunks. They got players who don't miss. Then you gotta be smooth when you take it in the lane. It's the NBA. I really love this game. The NBA. Here's Coleman putting it home. Cause in the NBA, it's crazy. We got guys with moves that amaze me. It's fantastic and crowds go insane. It's the NBA. I really love this game. I really love this game. Goes to the hoop, slams up.
Great slam dunk. And he managed with a big jam.
You're running wild every day, and I love it. Live it when you're running wild. Back it on the run, right side of Benoit. Covered up. Arches Liberty with the alley-oop.
Welcome back, everyone. We want to take this opportunity to thank all our guests we've had on our program so far, and also congratulate all the athletes that went to Penticton a couple weeks back and participated in the BC Summer Games. Didn't matter whether you won or lost, as long as you were there and competed. That's the main thing, Ian.
What do you think about basketball? What do you think about that videotape? You gonna go?
I enjoy it, yeah. I'm going to go and take some games in. I think it's going to be very enjoyable. It's going to be nice because I think it's something that we really need. We have to put Vancouver, and they've sure marketed that very well. And this is something that we've talked about earlier on. Maybe the National Hockey League has to look at how they're marketing that, because the marketing people that promote the NBA, they do a good job.
And it's surprising the NHL isn't following suit, because Gary Bettman was David Stern's right-hand man when he was with the NBA, and you know, the NHL could do a lot in
well, they could, and
NBA.
I think once we get the NBA in Vancouver, which is really positive, because the seats, if you ever go down to watch the facility or just go in to look through,
Sidelines are great.
Gorgeous complex.
Yeah, the sightlines are fantastic. But what happens after the novelty of GM Place wears off, Steve? You know, from what you hear, is there enough? Is there enough true basketball fans? I mean, we go to the Agrodome every year and do the BC High School Basketball Championship. 6,000 people, 6,000 people in the Agrodome. You know, maybe.
The problem with that is, what are they going to do? I think down the road they should look at moving that championship possibly to the new GM Place. Don't keep it there.
We'll see.
Expose it. Give it a little bit more credit. And I really think that our NBA franchise, the Grizzlies, are going to get involved with the high school basketball in our own area.
Let's hope they do. Let's hope they do.
That's going to be good. Big signing for the Canucks a little while back, or trade rather.
Alexander
McGillney. And we have to tell everyone right now that we have something very special. And we're not going to tell you how we're going to do it.
Because we don't even know yet. That's why we're not going to tell you.
But we have, and it's going to be, whoever gets it is going to be a real keepsake for anyone. It's an autographed hockey stick by Pavel Bure, as well as Alexander McGillney. And our special show that we're doing is September 24th at the Boston
that
Pizza
will be the night that, again, we don't know if it's going to be a viewer or someone in attendance at Boston Pizza. I think if we gave it away at Boston Pizza that night, Steve, I don't think there'd be enough room for everybody to get in. So we'll have to think of something very creative before that time. But we will.
We will. And again, we want to thank everyone for tuning us in right there. Our next special gentleman we have on the line, Mr. Jim Taylor. Jim, are you there?
I am here.
We knew you'd come in loud. How are you doing?
I'm just sitting around wondering which of you guys is going to talk yourself into accepting the McGillney-Pavel stick for yourself.
I'm trying.
That's ironic, because Ian was mentioning that upstairs. We talked earlier on, Jim, about the fight coming up with Tyson. What's your view on that?
Well, put it this way. Mike Tyson is run by Don King trains at Don King's camp. Peter McNeely, the other fighter, is controlled by Don King. The fight is promoted by Don King. If Peter McNeely should do anything foolish, like throw a punch that might actually endanger Mike Tyson and thus screw up an $800 million fight, Don King will shoot him.
Jim, I'm not a big boxing fan, but how does Don King get away with that?
Well, because the game is basically crooked. And he has the television ends. He's a great promoter. He knows how to promote people, not necessarily events. And he got next to Tyson, and with Tyson as his #1 player, he can then go and make deals with people like Showtime and the MGM Grand, and they have to deal with him because he's got the fighter. Have you noticed how quiet he was, relatively speaking, in the 2.5 years that Mike Tyson was in the Slammer? Because he didn't have the edge anymore.
Have you got your ringside seats?
Well, I think I'm in the MGM Grand in the press section, but I'm an out-of-town guy, and I'm taking binoculars and possibly oxygen.
Yeah,
let's turn to football for just a second. Calgary came close to losing their first one yesterday. Your thoughts on the CFL since the last time we talked?
Well, I think Flutie had a bit of a sore arm, which might have accounted for a little bit of it, although San Antonio is a pretty good football team. And,
yeah, they are.
And Baltimore lost another one. That Southern Division, I still can't get used to Northern, Southern versus Eastern, Western, but that Southern Division is going to get a whole lot tighter.
Yeah.
And I don't think Baltimore is going to have the cakewalk that the ever-modest Don Matthews thought. Up here, I really think that the only team capable of beating Calgary is BC.
And the game is going to have to be in Calgary because if we get Doug Flutie to be, and if BC does finish first, I think the only way, I guess I mean to say, Jim, is that if BC is there for the game to be in Calgary.
Oh, yeah, but and also, you never can tell how these things work. I mean, once the playoffs start, somebody might crank up. Who would have said with 10 seconds to go that BC was going to beat Edmonton? In the Western semi. So those very strange things can happen. But I know this: the BC Lions right now, I think, have the capability of being a better team than the team that won the Grey Cup.
And they
haven't shown it yet.
Yeah, they've been winning.
They haven't put everything together yet. But if they get everything together, I think they really can be.
Yeah, and they've been winning. And Danny McManus has put up some fairly good numbers, but I don't think we've seen the Danny Mac of a year ago yet.
Well, don't forget, what you saw a year ago, what people are raving about was Danny Mac in about two-minute spurts. He never really had to come out and lead a team, and I have no doubt in the world that he can do it. I don't think, Flutie aside, there's not a better quarterback in Canada playing right now, and I include Kent Austin because, A, I didn't think he was that much better last year, and B, he hasn't been operating at full capacity. But this is going to be a better team. Get the receivers healthy. Danny Mac he's not shy about throwing into double and triple coverage, but he'll get over that.
Jim,
he's learning every game, and I think the way this thing is sort of working itself out, by playoff time, I'll tell you something he told me before the season started. When they had the Grey Cup ring presentation, I said, well, you know, a lot of people are saying, well, can you do it for the whole season? He looked at me and he said, I've been getting ready for this for 5 years. Do they honestly think I'm not going to be able to do it?
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, he doesn't lack confidence.
No, he's got lots. With the involvement of the CFL, with what they draw and play in Toronto, what's your thoughts on the NFL coming up there and playing the other night and selling out the Skydome?
I just think it confirms my suspicion that Toronto has some of the stupidest football fans on the face of the earth.
Look at the score, Jim. That was brutal. I mean, I didn't.
Terrible. It was awful.
Yeah.
And there will be more. You know, the national anthem will have barely died out. It'll be better than 9-7 tomorrow night.
Oh, for sure.
The CFL is a better game by far, but they've got NFL in their eyes in Toronto. They have this thing, we're a big league city, we deserve a big league team, and they've said this, you know, for years and years and years, and it doesn't help. Paul Godfrey, the head man of the Toronto Sun, is part of the committee to get an NFL franchise, so the Toronto Sun blasts it and blasts it and blasts it, and then the other media guys pick it up, and it's like a campaign.
Jim, we're running out of time with you, and I want to find out your final thoughts. Where do you think the Canucks will go this year? How far?
Oh, certainly down to False Creek. I don't know that with the new division, but McGillney and Bury will push each other. They'll have big years. If they sign Linden, I think they can go as far as last year and maybe a step further. But don't forget, it's going to be a much tougher division.
Yeah, it sure will be.
And training camp this year is in Whistler. Jim, we want to thank you once again for joining us. As always, it's our pleasure to have you on the program.
Okay, anytime.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. Good night.
Good night.
Thanks, Jim. I tell you, an awful lot of fun.
Yeah,
Jim
it
Taylor
was.
is a very outspoken individual, and anybody that reads his articles knows that about him. Ian.
He's always got lots to say on
He is
any
controversial.
subject, and that's why I like to when I have him on, I like to talk to CFL with him because I don't think there's a more knowledgeable columnist writer in Canada that knows more about the CFL
as
or
Dennis Crawford
loves
said,
the
very
CFL
respected, very
or
respected
loves the
individual.
CFL as much as he does.
And we were talking about the Mike Tyson fight. The Mike Tyson fight can be seen on Rogers on the pay-per-view August the 19th at 6 p.m. Anyone that wants to watch the Mike Tyson, I guess they call it fight, we call it fiasco, call it what you might, but it's going to be a big endeavor. It's going to be something that these people need, and I think, unfortunately, it's sad to see boxing go this route. This is something they need.
Well,
they need a Mike Tyson involved.
it's going to give boxing the shot in the arm it needs, and we'll see how much of a shot it does get. I mean, let's hope it goes longer than a round for all the people paying all those big bucks.
Yeah, it is. Can you imagine paying the money for ringside seats?
I wouldn't do it, but...
I don't know. I don't think I'd want to do that. Ian, we've had an action-packed show here
But
tonight.
it's been a long one, and
It
we've
has.
had, and it's been fun though, as
And
always, Steve. It's
as
always
we
fun.
always have an awful lot of fun.
Sure
I have
you
to give
do.
an awful lot of credit right now to the people at Softball City for when they put on the Midget Canadian Championship a while back during that rain fiasco they had. We want to thank Boston Pizza for contributing all the pizzas for all our callers tonight. And there is the areas on the screen where you can see if you want to go get a Boston Pizza, go on out. We want to thank and apologize to everyone we left online that we're unable to get calls to. We'll get back to you and get
We're
you
back
later
in 2
on.
weeks.
We will. We'll be back 2 weeks. August 27th is our next program, 7 p.m. We're doing the Surrey Glacier game the 19th. Come on out. That's a 7:05 game. Surrey Glaciers start their playoffs September the 5th, 7:05 game. So, Ian, it's been an action-packed show, as always. An awful lot of fun.
Well, I'll see you again in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, Ian. Thanks very much. All our guests we want to thank. On behalf of Ian Metcalf, I'm Steve Erickson. Thanks for watching, and it's been a good time. You tell them we've got to talk a little bit. Let's talk. Okay, well, we will. We won't go long. We've had a little bit of time. Let's talk. We talked off camera about different sports. Surrey Glaciers, they're going to go. We hope they go next year.
Yes.
You're a little bit undecided about what you think the Canucks are going to do this year. Let's get away from the Glaciers. What do you think the Canucks are going to do?
The Canucks are still a Scott Stevens-type defenseman, short, and I've said that enough on this show, and they still need the center to play between Ridley there I go, Ridley. Ridley's probably going to be the guy, but they still need the center to play between McGillney and Bury, and, hopes are high this time of year, but, wait till October rolls around, and we'll see if these two guys have what it takes. I'm sure they do, but...
We'll see. Training camp, as we said earlier on, has been moved from Kamloops to Whistler, first part of September. On behalf of Ian Metcalf, I'm Steve Erickson. Thanks for watching. If you don't play sport, at least be one.
Good night.
Catering for this program was supplied by Giant Foods, located at 160th Street and 108th Avenue in Surrey.